Good whatever to you, whenever you are listening to this episode of Chatting with Beloved Chatters, where we have an interview not with the host of shows, but with people hanging out in the chat room. And today I have Dabblestorian with me. How are you doing today, Dabblestorian?
I'm upset, really upset. I don't know if you know this, but DG quit last night. I'm heartbroken.
I did see that in the Discord. That's unfortunate for the people who are really into Joey C, as you have been. You've kind of pivoted. You started
Wonder
doing
how DGG's taking it though.
Yeah, we'll have to get back with his brother DGG to find out. He didn't seem to be a big fan of what DG was doing online. There seems to be a lot of family members that aren't big fans of DG's online activities. So maybe this will mend the relationship. Taking a little time off. I mean, John took some time off, and big return for Stuttering John. It
Yeah.
looks like he might be actually no, he returned as well. So we got the return of Stuttering John and losing DG. We're just picking up and losing people in this Dabbleverse all the time.
I mean, my heart's broken. It really is. No DG. What's even the point anymore? I'm quitting YouTube.
Gee whiz. I guess I'll be able to get out in front of you and stay out in front of you.
I mean, it's gonna let that happen.
For the past 2 months, you have been about 10 to 20 subscribers ahead of me, and you do hold that with pride of being able to be ahead of me in the race.
I mean, there's quality and there's quantity, and I've got both. Ari Jane subscribed to me last night, so...
Yeah, Ari Jane subscribed to me after I did a co-host audition with her. She was a very good sport about it. Candlewax in the Discord sent my co-host audition with Elise to her. She believes she'll be a good sport as well. Joey C was not a good sport, either with you or me taking his
Joey
content.
C subscribed to me.
Oh, so he can't miss a thing. That's good. Every time you throw up a video of him, he will be witness to it.
I'm hoping to get Ray DeVito as one of my subscribers too. That's the next one I want. Ray DeVito. I don't know why, but I think Ray would be my friend. Hopefully.
Are you ever in Ray DeVito's chat?
I sent him a super chat the other day when he got fired, I guess, saying I'll be his friend, and he was quite thankful. He had a smile on his face.
That's good for Ray. I've been wanting him to get out on his own for a while. I felt like they were treating him too much like a lol cow over there on the Shuley network instead of a peer. And he does do some silly things, but not to the degree that he was getting lol cowed over there, I believe.
Yeah, I mean, if you want, I can reach out to Ray and see if we can get you booked on his show.
That would be fun. I have a concept specific to Ray. When we've been in the same comment section, like I've tagged him and said, Ray, what's your email? I've got a concept for you, but he's been ignoring me so far whenever we've been in Tukey Soup or El Horrible's chat together. But I've got a concept for you, Ray, just for you. No one else. It'll work. It's gold, I tells you.
Well, as I always say, is sometimes you just got to knock on the door and bust them down. So, like, when I was speaking to Dale originally about Harrison Young, he was like, "You never get Harrison Young. You never get to speak to him. And never get back to you." And all I did was send him a message, and Harrison Young got back to me. Was interested to doing interviews with us, and I was able to get Dale, Dylan from somewhere, and Annie the Review Girl on a show with Harrison Young.
You proved De La wrong quite a few times where he said you're not going to be able to do something, and you prove you have the tenacity to get things done. And yeah, thanks to that triple booking, De La had internet problems with his Zoom, so it was just Annie and I on Harrison Young. And thanks to that, Annie's show is back on the air, and I am co-hosting with her.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of surprised what I'm able to get done, because all I do sometimes is just send an email out, and people are like, holy shit, you'll be able to get the impossible done. And all I've done is just asked a question, just ask somebody, hey, would you be interested? Are you available? Would you like to do this? And generally all the responses are always yes. So it's not like I'm a miracle worker. I just ask the questions, I guess. Right questions.
Yeah, I guess it's an invisible wall that doesn't exist. People believe that they can't get through, but just push on that invisible wall and find out that it actually isn't a wall. I
think it's because of the idea of fame. So if you feel you're lower down than someone and somebody is very famous, they're going to hang out with famous people, speak to famous people. They're not going to talk to little people. But when you reach out to them, you kind of be surprised at how humble most of them are. Like I reached out to Michael Franchese, and he emailed me back. I was like, "That fuck me! I didn't expect that to happen." But that was surprising.
And that helped you make a big splash in the Dabbleverse, getting on Stuttering John's podcast somewhat regularly. Hopefully, he'll welcome you back one day. He realized that it wasn't you, that he was fooled. Whoever got in there and got him taken down, he thought they had a similar voice to you. But
Yeah.
thank goodness he realized that was a fraud. You are indeed a friend of Stuttering John.
Yeah, I mean, he seems to still like me. I like him. I mean, it was kind of disappointing what happened because I actually had plans to get you on with John. Like, I think you would have been the perfect person for Thule Tuesdays with John.
Yeah, I did have a Shuli detractor show myself. I put a lot of effort into that. If you fired me up, maybe I could get back into it. I've become just very indifferent as I was for quite a while with Shuli, but having a superstar like John to bounce back and forth off of, maybe that would get me back in the detractor business.
Yeah, I mean, I think it would have been good for you, appearance-wise, as well. I mean, you hanging out with John, I think I got pretty much, I guess, well, no, I only got Billoni and Dayla, so I got my closest friends on there.
And they both had really good
appearances. Say one sentence to the man.
Bill Loney, I was hoping he was going to become a regular over on Stuttering John. He made a really good appearance.
I think John really only. Well, yeah, I guess John liked him, but I think John kind of preferred me more because I have a film background, so he can, I guess, chew the shit with me because obviously we can talk films like Jaws and talk about like film knowledge. So I think that's what I was kind of his favorite out of all of them.
And we could talk, John and I, about my past in film as well. I literally did sit in the audience. People like to goof on him for sitting in the audience of The Tonight Show, but he did have a function, whereas I got paid minimum wage to go and watch different TV shows. And like that was a fun thing to do, like last minute. We need some more people for The Price is Right. Come on down and get paid minimum wage for 4 hours. Sure.
I don't think John would appreciate your porn career, though.
My porn career? Do you know something I don't know?
Chico Black.
I'm going to have to look up this Tico Black. I must have been in a blackout when I was Tico Black. I'm unfamiliar with my...
Wow.
I've been called Ron Jeremy recently, and...
I mean, that's not a good name to be compared to.
I could see how people could call me Ron Jeremy's nephew or something.
Yeah.
But no, definitely not Ron Jeremy over here. So I'm Tico Black. How long have I been in the business?
69 weeks.
All right. Good to know. I can't wait to see who I've been having sex with when I look up Tico Black after we're done here.
Just Joey C, Mrs. C, the entire Catalano family.
Oh, that's who he's done films with? Oh shit. I've got to really look at what I've been doing with myself. Jesus.
I mean, the only reason I'm here, and I think I should say this, is to mess with Dayla. Dayla agreed if I would come on this show, he would do a show called Dayla's Dishonorable Discharge, a show about premature ejaculation. And that's the only reason I'm here.
That's to mess with Dayla. That's something that he does need some coercing into. He's uncomfortable with every aspect of that show, the title, the show content. But as you said, since I'm a porn star, I should be able to ease him into the subject matter.
I mean, I want him to have a call-in number so people could call up and ask him advice on sex, questions they have. Dayla's the man for this sort of job.
The dishonorable discharge. Yeah, the connotations Dayla puts on there is different than premature ejaculation. So,
I don't understand where he gets this connotation that it's military. Dishonorable discharge means maybe you had a discharge that wasn't honorable. Maybe you came a bit too early. You came in a place you weren't supposed to, and you felt very dishonored about it. I don't get where Dayla feels like this is a military theme.
It is associated with military here in America. Must not be over there in Britain.
I
So
think it's worldwide. I think it's just some people get their wires crossed, Dylan.
gotcha. A little bit of confusion there. Uh, you started out doing a few Stuttering John videos, and you moved over to Joey C, and you were very fascinated with that fellow. I need someone else's lens. Like I need you. I need Tukey. I need someone else. I can't take Joey C raw.
Yeah, I mean, I always intended to do John content, and I still do. I mean, I'm planning to do Dabble Origins Part 3, but it takes so much time with the research and going through the videos. And now I'm at university, and now I've got a new job, warehousing. I don't know how I'm going to find the time to do a lot of that stuff. So it's kind of like, I'm planning to do it, but it's kind of not taking center stage at the moment. When I've got some more free time, I'll start working on it. And
Maybe winter
yeah, I get
break.
that done. But like when it comes to the Joey C content, it's easier to do because it's like 2-minute clips.
Yep.
It's
Joey, this guy keeps sending me links of you using the N word and homophobic.
I already settled that with you, John. I got black grandchildren, John. I have black grandchildren. He's a liar. I was doing a bit when I was going in the hood for my show and say, "Bro, what's up?" That's how I talked with the street guy. It was metaphorically, not. And say, "What's up, bro? What's up?" That's how I talked with the say, "Oh, bro, what's up?" What up? And say, "What up, bro? What's up?" I'm prejudiced. I got Latino grandkids. I got black grandkids. So he's put out that I'm gay. He sends me pictures. He sent me a picture this morning of his whole body.
it's easy, and Joey C is the most I think Joey C is the most interesting person I have ever seen in my life. I cannot believe how stupid, how ignoramus this man is. He thinks he's the shit when he's actually not. He thinks he's the greatest man to ever live. And I've never seen a more stupid man in my life.
That's funny. You find him one of the most interesting people. I actually find him somewhat unremarkable. There are a lot of people that I have seen in my life. Well, at least a half a dozen, maybe 12 people that are just so much like him. So in the small town communities of Maryland and when you get to Orange County, California, I've seen a few Joey C's. So it must be a little more rare from where you're from. But he does.
Well, no, I would say Joey C's the kind of guy at the bar that would always tell these tall tales. He's always telling these stories about how he was in baseball, how he hanged out with the mafia. He's a tall tale teller. But instead, he has a show. And he has a show where he gets angry and annoyed at everything, and he wants to be this biggest thing in the Dabbleverse. That's Joey C to us, essentially.
The biggest problem I find with his show is he doesn't know what he wants it to be. Like, this show is primarily an interview show. I get to know you. My other shows are primarily a comedy show. When I asked him, when he was very upset, it was fun when he was in my chat for his co-host audition, and he will not be calling me back. But
yeah, I mean, you
never answered what his well, not in the porn. I don't suck. I get sucked in the porns. So I'm diversified. I'm sucking over here. I'm getting sucked over there.
Yeah, I mean, I was on Joey C's show, I guess, about 4 or 5 times. So I've been there quite a few times. And I have tried to help the man out with ideas and show prep and all that stuff, but he just isn't interested. The only thing he wants is to make himself look good. So he cannot take a joke, he cannot be made fun of. And that's not interesting. You can't have a show where a host isn't willing to make fun of themselves necessarily. Like Jay Leno would always make fun of himself. David Letterman would make fun of themselves. Conan would make fun of themselves. They were fun guys who knew how to take a joke.
And that's actually where I've seen people fail in getting into acting and creative endeavors, where they always want to be the hero. They always want to be the knight in shining armor, the handsome prince. You got to show your ass every once in a while. Sometimes literally, sometimes, you just need to be the butt of the joke at times, depending on the situation.
And it kind of makes you invincible if you take control of the joke. For example, Dale smoking worms. No one can make fun of Dale anymore for what he did, him smoking worms for charity, because they're like, oh, I'm going to make fun of Dale for smoking worms. But then you realize, like, oh, he did it for charity. So you look like a piece of shit when you make fun of him. But also, he's Air Force, baby. Oh, thank you for your service, Dale.
Thank you for your service. And he did actually feel like shit the next day. He said that
I know.
the effects
He was.
afterwards were.
I was on with Stuttering John the next day. So that was the day that Joey's Feet came on, and Dale was quite late because he was kind of feeling the effects of smoking worms.
So now we know worms will make you feel bad the next day, kind of like salvia. You get a high for a moment, and then you feel like shit for hours.
I mean, I hope Dale would continue on the series. So he would do like crack with cocaine. No, he would do crack with cockroaches, millipedes with meth.
Yeah, millipedes and centipedes, I think, is the next step. He goes from no legs to all the legs. That's what
I mean, as long as he does some drugs with it, it's good.
You might have to go to Rumble for that. YouTube doesn't like the actual illicit substances on their platform.
But that'd be the one show I'd watch more than anything, just Taylor doing like insects with drugs.
It could be a zoology show too. He could team up with a zoologist to give us the overview of the genus and what's going on with this species that is now being ingested.
I know Peter would be pissed off though with him doing that show.
Yeah, wouldn't be a fan of hurting the bugs like that. So we were talking video games a little before we went on air. You were talking about RoboCop being a really fantastic experience.
I mean, I just started playing it today. I mean, I'm enjoying it so far. I don't really have anything more to say about it. You can shoot people in the dicks, I guess.
I absolutely love like RoboCop and Pee-wee's Big Adventure. I always put as two of the most perfect films. And what qualifies that is what did the director intend to do and what happened. And that's why I put those two up top of what Verhoeven and what Tim Burton wanted to do and what was on screen was just so close. And it just resonates so much with the audience, even though they are just completely different genres.
Well, yeah, speaking of directors, obviously my dear friend Starring John is a director too. He directed Quentin Tarantino, if you didn't know that.
Yes, he directed him in a segment. Had to let him know, time's an issue, Quentin. We can't be going off script here.
Yeah, I mean, Quentin waffles on sometimes, and maybe he needs to be told to shut up. And John's a man for the job.
John does have that booming personality to let people know what to do, what not to do. And being on a film set myself, I found a lot of people confuse the assistant director with the director, because a lot of times the director communicates, this is what I want done. And then it's the assistant director running around, yelling at people, telling what to be done. But no AD in that segment. It was just all John.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, John's the best thing to ever happen to me. He's fantastic. My entire career is owed to John. And
you have, I believe, Donald Trump AI and Homer Simpson AI in the Dabbler Origins of Stuttering John. Who will be the AI voiceover for the third one upcoming?
I generally do a vote for those. The vote for the third one was Homer Simpson again, so I guess people want to listen to Homer read them.
I love being in the studio. It was just a bunch of cool dudes hanging around, chewing the shit, and having a great time. He said that he only wanted to talk about grapes. So then, thinking on my feet, I started putting grapes in every question. Danny, do you, Gigi Grapely, feel that Mike Tyson should be caged? He kept getting irritated. But it was funny. With all of my stuttering, I thought I had failed. Little did I know how wrong I was. Art played it on the air and loved it. They all laughed their asses off in the studio. I left convinced that I just killed my chances of ever getting a record deal. But I hoped that Art would be happy. He was. They played it on air and laughed their asses off.
I was thinking about maybe starting to reach out to creators now and asking if they would like to be the voice and putting up to a vote.
And that's yeah, I've seen other video editors do that who aren't really into the voiceover aspect of getting different creators to come in and voice over. So that would be a fun variation if Homer gets too many in a row for your likings.
Yeah, I mean, it's also, I think it's a great choice of variety. For example, if I ask Bobby Nick to do an episode, I think that's going to be a fantastic episode, just him reading John's book. Then the next week, maybe if I get Quadfather to read it, then the next week Taylor reads it, then Bill Oney. It's like you've got these great, talented people that could obviously read John's book. That'll be very interesting to listen to.
And it's saying next week, but really it's a few months down the line. The searching through clips, like sifting clips, I find to be one of the toughest processes of.
Yeah.
I need to. You need to look over all the hours of footage to find just a couple of minutes that'll be included.
But yeah, I mean, I'm more of an Opie and Anthony fan, to be honest. So going through all this Howard Stern stuff, it originally wasn't kind of something I really did enjoy. Mostly because I always preferred Opie and Anthony, just the camaraderie, the team, Patrice O'Neill, Club Soda Kenny, Lady Di, and all that stuff. But the more I listened to Howard, the more I liked it.
Howard is more like the running the circus. He's the ringleader of the circus. Oftentimes, he's not. He himself is not the most interesting person in the room, but he knows how to present everyone else to make them the most interesting person in the room at that moment.
Yeah, I think it's also the fact like I get to meet people like well, I would like to meet Anthony Cumia, but like if you have people like Anthony Cumia, who's an absolute talent, he's able to do all these impressions and all that stuff, and you have him as one of your co-hosts. He's brilliant. Like he's absolutely funny. He's fun to listen to.
I was very lucky to meet him and at DabbleCon in Rochester. I call it the Anthony Cumia Love Circle, where there was like a dozen of us or so just hanging around Anthony and bringing up some of the good times and trying not to step all over each other. All right, you had your time with Anthony. I had my time with Anthony. I'll step back. I won't. I'll let you now reminisce with the man who. It's reminiscing with a person who. We don't have a previous experience with personally, but we have a previous experience with.
You've listened to him on the radio for years, so he's kind of personal to you.
Yeah.
Even though he's never met you, you kind of know. You feel like you know him, like he's your friend, essentially.
Yeah, he's kept me company in the car, at home, at work, so many places, and now we get to return that favor to him by being in his company and telling him how much we appreciate those times that he gave us.
Yeah. What was I going to say? It's like I think it's the exact opposite experience when I've had spoken to Opie. He doesn't like talking about Opie and Anthony and all that stuff. From my experience of talking, well, I haven't even talked to Anne, but I imagine he's the kind of guy who he loves that sort of stuff. He's like, thank you for being a listener. Hope you enjoyed it.
He remembers the good times. Opie seems to have a hard time remembering the good times. He's focusing on the negative aspects whenever Opie and Anthony gets brought up to him. And to me, that's actually great content. That's actually great content. Angry Opie is really fun. So I wish he would be open to talk about that, even if he has a hard time remembering the good times.
The reason he more said is like he doesn't want to talk about the same stuff over and over and again. And I think I had a problem with that because I always see it as like the episode you're talking about. Well, no, what I'm going to try to say is the podcast you're on is always going to be somebody's first episode. And if they have a question you might have repeated like 10, 20 times they haven't heard that. That's the first time they've heard it. And you've kind of said, hey, I'm not answering it, go back. It's dismissive of the audience. So why'd I watch any more of your episodes again?
Yeah, and it's understandable. You need to find that certain balance. You don't want to repeat your stories too often, but you do need to backtrack. Jim Cornette, I listen to regularly, and he's been on the air so many times. He's getting questions from the audience that he's answered before, and he's like, well, it has been a few years, hasn't it? Let's go over this again, rather than tell him to find it. So a balance in I've talked about that recently, or you're right, I haven't talked about that recently. Let's get into that.
Well, yeah, I mean, I kind of understand it must be annoying, but don't forget these are the only fans you have. Like, these are the questions that would be interested, your opinions and stuff. I mean, I haven't got that close with Anthony yet. I've kind of spoken to people in the circle, so I'm friends with Jim Grindle. I don't know if you've met that guy. I've spoken to him, but he's fantastic.
No, I haven't spoken to Jim Grindle. It was actually you who brought Jim Grindle to my attention.
Yeah,
I was actually completely in the dark of Grindle until a couple of weeks ago.
yeah. I mean, it's one of the things I try and do. I don't try to make enemies. I always try to make friends out there. So that's one of my goals, and I think I've been quite successful out of it. So I've been able to get like people that have left Joey C's network or got fired that are friends with me now. They kind of realize like what I was saying about Joey, and like even people that would like I think hated me have now become my friends. And like it's even got to such a surprising point of where I've got you a big interview and we'll be doing it, but this would be, I guess, the relative of somebody who would hate me. And he said, "Yeah, I'll do it. You know, you seem like a nice guy."
Yeah, I'm very much looking forward to that. I thank you very much for bringing that interview to me, and we will get that will hopefully be next week. We've got one more pre-interview. He's being cautious next week's interview, and once that's locked in stone, I will promote who it is. That's something you want to be careful about, of promoting things that might happen, because you can disappoint your audience. But hopefully that person will indeed enjoy our second pre-interview and will be all aboard for chatting with the artist next week.
I think the one thing we got to do is obviously read the book, so we can read that later today or whenever. Just do it as a group and get through it quicker.
Yeah, I started last night. I didn't get far. I got distracted, but did start diving into the book last night, and that's
Good read.
something. It took me by surprise. I didn't expect where it was going.
Well, you have to say it's a good read. If you start trashing his book on air, he's going to pull out.
Well, I'm just getting into it. It took a direction I wasn't expecting. So I'll be diving into that again today after recording, and I need to dive into it. We need to get it read before that pre-interview this weekend for sure.
Let me and Dalen know, and we could set up like a VC, and we'll read it together, or like parts of it together, so just we get through it quicker, and we could take notes as well. Team effort.
TEAIM. I love that dumb joke. So there will be an I in team from now on.
Even though you are my rival, technically.
You like to say that. I don't consider us rivals, but I
mean, I have to have a rival out there. How else am I going to be great if I don't have a rival to compete with? If I don't have a rival, I stagnate.
I see. You've got your collection of friends, but there is a rival that must be had for conflict to make the audience interested.
Yeah, I mean, why do you think you have the greats like Nicky Lauder versus James Hunt? Nicky Lauder had James Hunt to compete with. That's why he's so great. Ayrton Senna and Prost, Howard Stern and Opie and Anthony. You always need somebody to go against so you don't stagnate and become, I guess, irrelevant. Like if you look at Howard Stern now, who does he have to compete against who's keeping him on edge? No one. And what has he turned into? This woke kind of mess.
He's on an island to himself, really. Radio isn't what it used to be. Podcasting and live streaming is where the talent is gravitating now. While radio, is they lost a lot of their budget. Thanks to the internet, and many reasons. The FCC clamped down on him. The last 5 years of Howard on terrestrial radio, you can tell he's not having a good time, and people having a good time is more of a fun listen. That's why I wish Darkside Phil would just do WWE Champions content. That's the one thing he enjoys. I love video games. While he's miserable through the entire thing, he could get an audience if he actually played the game that he loves, but he will not admit that he spends money on that game.
I mean, he
what other
jerked off in camera in front of us, so why can't he do that?
Yeah, the camera was on the whole time.
Maybe Taylor can do that for his dishonorable discharge show. That's his opening.
That was just all around dishonorable. Even if the charge was on time, that was very dishonorable. And what really helped me get into Chris Chan and Darkside Phil were like the 10-20 minute videos of the specific sagas that they went through. I would like to see more of those in the Dabbleverse. I think that you nominated Rochi recently to do that. We've got to get on him. Rochi, 10-20 minute segments. We'll help you do the research.
I think Rochi can do obviously the Joey C stuff, like Joey C Storian. But it depends what he wants to do. I think he's just a very boring guy, and I've always made the joke he's the British DG, and maybe he should do just a show where he's ripping on DG. But now DG's gone, what can he do? He's out of business. Rochi is. He's got no one to do.
More long form. More long form content you're suggesting, where you've got the more short form content on that subject.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm obviously got to do the Dabbler Origins. I'm going to keep on doing that, the long series parts. Like I took inspiration from Gino Samuel, who does the Chris Chan Comprehensive Guide.
Yeah, at some point those got sad. Those were really fun for the first 40 parts, but now it stopped being fun. Once the idea guys got a hold and hijacked Chris Chan's brain, things turned less fun.
I've reached out to Chris Chan. I'm hoping to obviously maybe get for an interview or anything like that. So I'm hoping. My fingers crossed on that one.
The world's most documented person. I wonder who that was in history. Like, it would have been some prince or something that would have been so documented hundreds of years ago. And now it's Chris Chan. He did it himself, and the world has been watching.
I would say, yeah, definitely. Like, Chris Chan's the most documented person to really ever exist. Basically, he keeps putting stuff out there, necessarily.
And we have been in a drought, so maybe that drought will kickstart people into being interested in him again, because he has gone through different highs and lows of the internet audience being interested and kind of waning with the different times.
Well, he is Chris Chan is streaming again. She is streaming,
and I'll have to check that out.
I mean, you're part of Dabblestorm Discord. The alerts are in there, so all you have to do is click on them when they come up. Any videos released by Chris Chan are there.
Oh yes, you're very much an expert in Discord. I'm still getting out of the boomer phase of Discord, and all those bots just automatically put whoever you want to monitor up there in the Discord.
Yeah, I mean, you could set up for your videos too if you wanted to, necessarily. Which will make it much easier, so people get alerted a day ahead of time. But yeah, I mean, Dabblestorm Discord is much better than Dylan Discord.
Well, you have someone that's less of a boomer dealing with the Dabblestorm Discord. I think
it's also because I got some really big names in there too.
I like to put the link up about 12 to 24 hours ahead of time. I noticed with Hannibal TV, he's a wrestler guy. He's got just dozens of upcoming live streams, and it's a bit overwhelming to the viewer of here's this live stream 2 weeks from now, and the whole week is set. It's like 12 to 24 hours. I find a proper amount of time to put up the link of here comes the live stream, 12 to 24 hours.
Yeah, I think if you would stop flirting with Annie, make a move, you would probably have more free time to do your Discord and your YouTube, set them up beforehand.
Well, you call it flirting. I'm just a friend of Annie right now and letting things develop naturally. You really believe there is a romance where, I don't know if there will be. We haven't met in person. We've talked actually only a few times outside of the shows we've done. So
I'm worried you're going to get friend zoned, Dylan. I'm trying to help you out here.
And I'm not opposed to friends. Actually, friends is where that came from. Friend zoned. That was
Yeah.
not a phrase before like 1996. So I understand your worry. I'm more of a let things happen naturally person. I don't want to force them. I don't want to jam it in. We do want to get lube for these relationships, because if you jam it in, it could end up all bloody and no good.
I think that's what women want nowadays. They want a man to take charge. They want to say, "Hey, baby, I want a relationship with you." You should do that to Annie and see what the reaction is. I mean, Harrison Young did try to steal her from you on the interview. You should have stood up for her and be like, "Hey, that's my woman."
That was like the second time Annie and I had spoken, so I wasn't really concerned. And actually, Harrison Young, I'm very concerned about. He is on quite the dry streak, so I would be happy for him. And of course, I've got my weird romance beliefs where it's okay if my partner sees other people and I see other people, as long as we're honest about it.
Well, you could always give Harrison a good one. You could end the dry spell.
Like me myself, I'm
Yeah.
not a homosexual man myself. He doesn't do it for me. I would not be able to give him one unless I had a special belt. It's not getting up for Harrison Young.
It's to help him out though. It's okay if you're doing it for charity.
I think I have to go back to my what was it? Tico Black Days you called me?
Yeah.
I think I might need to get paid for that one. The money might get my dick hard, because it's not naturally getting hard with Harrison.
I think Harrison Young's a good friend of mine, and I mean, I'm hoping to get more people on there. So I think Jake Hudson's going on there. I've reached out to Stevie Lou to see if he wants to go on there. So he's going to have a star-studded star-studded amount of people on there.
Yeah, Christian Blatt was jealous of my appearance, and it's like it's easier than you think. Christian, go on and hype up who are these broadcasts in the Blattcast. You can get it done.
Yeah, I mean, I got it done pretty easily.
Yeah, easier than you would think. As you said, just giving it a little effort, not being intimidated by by the people who are doing their own thing, who may or may not be at a higher fame level.
I mean, he is Sarah Silverman's cousin, though.
That's right. He did say that, didn't he?
Yeah. And he was hitting on your woman. You didn't defend her there. Maybe you were a little intimidated by Harrison Young.
My co-host.
Your woman.
You like to call her my woman. I like to call her my friend and my co-host, and let things develop naturally. You, sir, are trying to get me to go in without lube, and that is rude, to go in without lube.
I mean, we could always ask Annie's opinion.
That's right. If this were a live show, she might be in the chat. I do thank my people.
Well, you got a number. Give her a call.
Actually, I've got her Discord. She's more of a Discorder than a phone number.
We better ask for a number quick.
And while we're on Annie, we should plug the channel. What is this game? We are talking about the Quarry next week. Husey, Husey, I didn't like at first. It took me a bit to warm up to Husey, but I'm a fan of Husey now. What about you? Do you like Husey's dry wit?
Yeah, I like him, but also I think that's probably the biggest name you've had on that show now.
Oh yeah, Husey has grown quite a bit in the broadcasting world in the past year. So really looking forward to talking to him. And it is kind of intimidating. I consider myself to have a decent dry wit, but oh boy, is he a dry fellow. He is going to outdry me.
Yeah, I would say maybe have a couple of drinks beforehand so you're not so nervous. And just, talk to the guy like you would normally. That's kind of what I did when I went on with John first. I had some Disaronno and I guess a mixer of Prime, because that's the one mixer I had. So I kind of got drunkish. And I went in with John and I was perfectly fine.
A little bit of booze. That would be day drinking, actually morning drinking for me if I were to go on with...
But it's not like I'm expecting you to drink a lot, but it's just to loosen you up a bit.
And often getting high is the wrong approach. That actually gets you too calm and not into the talking spirit.
Maybe 1 or 2 glasses of wine won't hurt you. You know, getting you a bit loosey goosey.
I'd say one IPA. I'm an IPA guy, more
Just
than
one
a wine
IPA.
guy. Yeah, a singular IPA. It's got a decent ABV, where two in a row that quickly, too fucking much. I'd need to take a nap if I had two and then stopped that early in the day.
I mean, I know some people are going to accuse you of stealing this show from Harrison Young, but I mean, you are both virgins.
Well, that's inaccurate.
Yeah, you give off virgin vibes with the puppets, though.
Mr. Winston has a very storied career in Hollywood.
So does Pee Wee Herman, especially in the porno theaters.
We support Pee Wee. That was a fun little. I remember that. We support Pee Wee. So what? He was jerking off. A lot of people jerk off in there. It was before home video was as readily available. Well, it was readily available. You'd get those VHS tapes that was on the EP, the SLP, that had 6 hours. Fuck quality. We want quantity of titties and penetration. Back in those VHS days.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know why he went in there. I imagine because he was kind of a bit of an old school guy, and that's where you go to jack off, essentially, back in the day. But I never understood why he would get in trouble for, like, jerking off. Everyone does it. Everyone masturbates. So what's the problem with him doing it? Maybe because he's family friendly, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was the big thing. He's got this kids' television show, and he's got his wiener out in public, even though it was dark, and a lot of people had their wiener out in that theater.
But yeah, I mean, do you not think Mr. Rogers probably pulled his wiener out at some point?
And Mr. Rogers, even more old school. I bet he didn't even own a 6-hour VHS of porn. I bet he only went to those jack shops and porno bookstores to get into the nudie booth. See, I bet he did the nudie booth. I bet Mr. Rogers didn't go into the public theater, but the solo nudie booth. That's
maybe, but like, my point would be like, they all fuck. Like, every one of our childhood icons and celebrities have probably masturbated or fucked. So, like, where's the controversy in Pee Wee Herman going to a porno theater?
And have you seen Norm Macdonald's comments about sex? People are now talking, was Norm asexual? It does seem that sex was just so nothing to him that Norm might be properly classified as an asexual.
I mean, if you think about it, in today's world, sex isn't really that important anymore. Especially when you got bills and shit like that to pay. You're like, I'd rather fucking work than go and so I got bills to pay. Everything's going up, heating, food. Ain't no one got time for that shit anymore, Dylan.
Well, a lot of people have time for webcam girls. All the OnlyFans and webcam girls, they have really shot up in popularity over the past few years.
I mean, just because you're talking about yourself and you don't have a job and you just sit and watch OnlyFans all day for your show.
Oh, no, it's strip chat. Those are for free. If I had a job, then I would pay some OnlyFans. Since I ain't got no money to tip them, I am waiting for someone else to tip them over there on strip chat so I can see it for free.
Well, I have an OnlyFans account just to check shit out and actually promote my YouTube channel there. But one of these girls actually gave me 2 years free memberships to a YouTube her OnlyFans account. She doesn't post anything, but she just gave me years worth of free stuff.
So a year's worth of nothing.
2 years.
Thank you for the 2 years of nothing. It's as if we were in a relationship.
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy, and I get to promote my YouTube channel there every now and then.
And let's go ahead and promote that YouTube channel one more. It is your name, Dabblestorian.
I mean, it's a much better YouTube channel than this one.
Well, that's a matter of opinion. I should have had this up the entire time. My mistake there. Dabblestorian is the YouTube channel, spelled
best YouTube channel. That. Beloved YouTuber. And friend of Cardiff Electric.
Even better than Lindsay Nicole. I've really enjoyed her YouTube videos since discovering her stuff.
I mean, Jake Hudson says so, and who's going to disprove Jake Hudson? Best YouTuber.
It's really hard to win a debate with Jake Hudson. He has got his own unique style of back and forth debate, that's for sure.
Yeah, yeah, I like him. I mean, I'm one of the few channels he's actually subscribed to. So yeah, I'm happy. Happy Larry. Happy Bonnie.
Larry over there. Happy
Yeah.
Larry over there. Did you just dox yourself, Larry?
I mean, I could be Larry or Kane Larkin, for all we know.
Oh yes, Kane Larkin. You brought him to my attention. I've got to take a better look at him. That was someone else who is new to me. I believe he's very well known over there in the UK, much more than in the
He was
US.
very well known and very well hated. For example, he would say like, I wish cancer on these individuals." Then he'd delete the video. Then he'd be like, "I never wish cancer on all these people. You know, everyone's lying."
That's a liar over there.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for joining me today, Dabblestorian. Let's get in any more plugs, and we'll wrap up. And since this is a pre-recorded, I'll drop in a few videos of yours for people who may not be subscribed yet to subscribe to you, and you will still be ahead of me in the subscriber base.
Yeah, I mean, I hope so. Obviously, Dishonorable Discharge with Dela coming soon to hopefully to the Baloney Network. That's the only thing I'm looking forward to be honest, anymore.
That is your passion project. We've
It
got
really is.
upcoming, as we said, more Dabbler origins, but that takes a while to research, to put together. Dela's Dishonorable Discharge is what Dabblestorian is most hyped about. So
Well, yeah.
hopefully Dela will step in front of the camera. He's said he is more comfortable behind the camera, so we'll see if we can get him on the other side.
He's a liar. He was on camera multiple times beforehand. He's a liar.
Yeah, he was on it multiple times, but in the conversations I've had with him, he much prefers doing the behind the scenes work after dabbling in front of the camera.
Of course, but also I should also promote. Hopefully, we get this big interview, and I'm fuck it. I'm just going to promote it. We got a big interview, and there's Dylan from Someone Network.
Yes. Next week, chatting with the author. Hopefully, we have got that in the works. He's being a little trepidatious. It's understandable. He's making sure that this is the proper format for him. Chatting with the author next week. Hopefully, our guest decides that this is indeed the proper format for him to promote.
I think so. Like, I'm pretty great, and I'll throw in an interview of Harrison Young as well after.
And you raise me a Harrison Young interview. Hopefully, yeah. He likes doing his own show. He's not a big fan, Harrison Young, of doing other people's show. That'd be nice to do some other people's show with Harrison out there.
But I also said to the author, like, I'd help promote his book, so that's what I'm going to help him do. So obviously I've got some plans to help him out. So do Dylan, do American Cupcake show where he does a book review, hopefully, then again one Harrison Young.
Oh, you're like his tour manager. You're being like what Dela is to me, and helping out getting some gigs and some guests.
I mean, I think we all agreed, and even he agreed, like when he went on to when a certain individual went on to shows promote his book, he didn't like the promotion. So I'm going to try and get it right for him.
Yeah, and who better to do it than the author himself? It sounds like he's ready to do some promotion. So looking forward to chatting with the author next week on the Dylan from Somewhere Network. He is not a beloved chatter, but he is a beloved author, new to the scene.
He's been mentioned quite a few times, and so yeah, there's the spoilers. You figure out who we're talking about.
Yes, we've been talking around it a bit because we want to make sure that we don't promote something that isn't happening, but he seems to be warming up after being a little trepidatious at first. Looking forward to chatting with the author next week here on the Dylan from Somewhere.
But the thing is, like, we promote it and he doesn't turn up. So what? We're just like, hey, this one slipped through our fingers. Maybe next time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he'll still be around. Maybe he can check out some more episodes of Chatting With, because I'm just getting to know people, promoting anything they would like to promote. And what you want to promote is what Dayla doesn't want to promote.
Dishonorable Discharge with Dayla coming soon to the Baloney Network.
The Bill-Oney Network. And anytime I feel we talk about Bill, I feel proper to plug what's important to him. Getting Cole a special needs van as he's getting older and getting out of his car seat over there on GoFundMe. And you can find that just Googling getting Cole a van for GoFundMe should bring it right on up. It has for me.
I'm friends with his grandmother as well, so that's pretty cool.
Oh, nice. You're getting familiar with the family as well. So you have a more personal vested interest as well.
Yeah. I mean, I'm friends with everyone, Dylan.
Even your rivals.
Well, yeah, pretty much. They can't not help but love me.
Well, thanks for joining today, Dabblestorian. It's been a fun little back and forth. Check out Dabblestorian. Check out Bill Loney and Dayla. You might have a show coming up.
Dayla's Dishonorable Discharge.
Thank you so much for joining me today. And thank you, viewers, for joining. Now, feel free to go.
Well, it looks like that's all the time we have for today. Thank you for going on this adventure with me. It's fun being with friends. I'll see you next time. Bye now.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye now. Bye-bye. Bye-bye now. Bye-bye.
Places all join hands, circle left. Now circle right and listen to me. LSMFT. Alimentary corners like swinging on a gate. To right to your honey with the right and left date. Grand right and left around you go. Lucky strike means fine tobacco. Meet your honey and give her a whirl. All swing around with the little girls. Smoke 'em, then you'll see. LSMFT. Promenade and don't you fall. Promenade around the hall. Lucky strike is first again with tobacco men. Promenade straight down the pike. It's time right now for a lucky strike. Yes, for smoking that you're bound to like, you just can't beat a lucky strike.